The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you. No matter the weather outside, Baron Orman Tagge, Cashmoney007, and PACIFIC414 are here to bring you the pop culture and entertainment, news, rumors, watch parties, discussions, reactions, reviews, opinion on PACIFIC414 Pop Talk Sunday edition. Welcome, one and all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to this edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk on this Sunday. Along with Cashmoney007 and Baron Orman Tagge, I am your host, Mike, and this morning, it's not a lighthearted episode, unfortunately, where we are going to discuss the recent passings of WWE superstar, three-time WWE Champion Bray Wyatt, just one day after the passing of hardcore legend Terry Funk. We are also going to discuss the passing of original Harley Quinn voice actress and also Days of Our Lives star Arleen Sorkin. And of course, we are going to talk about the legendary game show host Bob Barker. Well, I guess his name was called Bob Barker. Instead of come on down, come on up.
Yeah, in that time phase of your life, that's the last thing you want to hear is "come on down." You want to go. You want to go up.
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we are also going to talk about two other stories. One about RoboCop Rogue City, and we are also going to talk about Dune Part 2.
Wait a moment. It's Rogue City? I thought it was Rouge City. Oh, okay.
Yes. Sure, Baron.
But first, before we get underway, I want to ask everybody how they're doing. You know, Baron, Cash, T-Gap, Steve, Low Spec Linux Laptop. How's everybody doing this morning?
I'm waking up still. I slept too late this morning.
I'm doing all right.
I almost pulled the cash.
You can't pull a cash.
I can. Yeah, I just got up from my nap and, wrapped my tofu.
Naps are good, Baron.
Yeah, they are. I've never been a nap guy though. So if I take a nap, it's something's up, you know.
It might turn into a few hours, so I guess it's more than a nap.
Yeah.
No.
But I do want to say hello to those of you in the chat. We have Low Spec Linux Laptop, everybody's favorite penguin, besides Punk Waddle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't start Penguin Wars.
Okay, come on, let's have Penguin versus Penguin.
That'd be great to have on Animal Planet. Penguin.
Penguin versus Penguin. Low Spec Linux Laptop versus Punk Waddle. Live on pay-per-view.
Sunday.
And of course, T-Gap Steve, he says PACIFIC414 has no money. Please don't sue him. You can sue Crypto Dime all you want.
Oh, is that the new name for cash? It's now crypto money?
No. Just goofy stuff. I told Chris the other day that he doesn't get a discount, but Jace might.
And of course, we have the self-proclaimed legend of Pop Talk, Bill McCracken.
Yeah.
And old man is here. He says, "Crabby as always."
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. And Steve says, "Penguin on Penguin." Isn't that 2 nuns in a bag?
I thought that is that like a Pornhub category?
It probably is.
Yeah. Asking for a friend.
But let's go ahead and get into our first story here. And our first story is actually from Fox Sports. That's where I found one where they weren't asking me to pay a monthly fee just to read the story.
Mm.
Like, I just want to be able to read the story and use it for pop talk, nothing else.
Yeah, we're promoting you.
Yeah. So let me get the links to the articles posted on YouTube, Kick, and Rumble, and welcome to those of you who are watching all three platforms. And let's get into this first story, shall we?
You got it.
All right, let me just bring it on the screen so everybody can see it, and I will increase the screen size so everybody can read it. So give me a second to increase the screen size as well. All right. So it said increase the screen size, not decrease. Yeah, just another day on Pop Talk. But anyways, we have this article from Fox Sports. It was posted on the 25th. And it says Bray Wyatt dies at 36. SmackDown WWE Universe honor the late superstar. Goes on to say WWE head of creative Paul Triple H Levesque announced Thursday on X that former superstar Bray Wyatt, whose real name was Wyndham Rotunda, has died. He was 36. Levesque said that he received the news from Rotunda's father and WWE Hall of Famer Mike Rotunda, also known as IRS for any WWE or WWF fans out there. Rotunda's cause of death has yet to be officially confirmed. Rotunda, a former WWE Universal Champion and WWE Champion, wrestled in WWE for over a decade, using several different monikers, including Husky Harris, Bray Wyatt, and Wyatt's alter ego, The Fiend. On Friday's edition of SmackDown, WWE honored the late Rotunda. It goes on to say World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins released a video tribute on Friday as well. Truth is, I still don't really know what to say. Wyndham was a unique cat. He was a simple yet deeply complex individual, and I loved him. I loved him. I loved working with him, but mostly I loved being around him. He was always joyful. These eyes that drew you in, and a smile and a laugh, and a presence that made you happy. And we're going to miss that. Rotunda's last televised match in WWE came at Royal Rumble 2023 when Bray Wyatt defeated LA Knight via pinfall in a pitch black match. Prior to that, Wyatt hadn't wrestled in WWE since WrestleMania 37 in April 2021. He was shockingly released by the company in July of that same year. Prior to returning to the ring at Royal Rumble 2023 on January 28th, he sat down with Fox Sports' Ryan Satin in what would become one of his final interviews, discussing his time away and how he felt before his return to the ring. He goes on to say, there's a certain reluctance to me where there hasn't been in the past. It's part of any athlete. When you're away from something so long, there's something in the back of your head that's like, am I still it? Am I still what I should be? As the weeks have progressed, I have really started to kind of come into my own again and start to remember why I do this and how much it means to me to be out there and perform. During my time away, I had opportunities to do really cool things, and I just wouldn't because I felt broken. There was something that was just shut off, and I didn't understand why. It was literally people telling me and just keeping me alive and dragging me back, telling me, You should still do this. We miss you. I didn't feel that way at first. I felt damaged. It was that kind of gave me the strength to build back out and explode. And it says tributes from the WWE universe continue to flood in on X after Levesque revealed the news. And there have been reports, there have been rumors. Again, I'm going to emphasize that these have been reports and rumors that he was suffering from an undisclosed illness. Some were saying that it was the coof, and he also had some pre-existing heart conditions. But either way, WWE has lost a very bright star who literally did, and this was part of a gimmick, but he literally did have that audience in his hand, because during WrestleMania 30's buildup, he started doing this thing where he would come out and start saying, "I've got the whole world in my hands. I've got the whole wide world in my hands." And the audience just ate it up. And another neat thing, and you saw it in the video at the beginning, and that was taken in December of 2014 when myself and some friends went to a WWE SmackDown taping, is when he would come out, we would light our flashlights on our cell phones, and they would be referred to as fireflies. And he was just one of those superstars that had the ability to not only grab an audience, but keep the audience's attention on him. And things that he would be able to do in the ring, like be able to get up and actually walk on his feet and hands and go toward the wrestler. It was creepy looking when he did it, but it just added to the character as this cult leader that he was. Him and Luke Harper, who unfortunately Luke Harper passed away a couple of years ago at the age of 42. And Eric Rowan, they were part of the Wyatt family, and that all started in WWE NXT after Bray Wyatt was sent down to the WWE's training facility when the whole Nexus NXT faction was basically rebooted with different members. And of course, at one point, CM Punk was the leader after Wade Barrett was ousted as leader. And you know it's watching those videos when Bray Wyatt was down in NXT in Orlando, Florida, where you see this new character just developing, and how he's really taking a hold of this new character, and the audience is actually believing it. Then they bring it up to you know WWE's main programming, WWE Monday Night Raw, and it just starts happening. And even his entrance, when you see his entrance in person, and it's amazing. It's one of those things that, as a wrestling fan, you appreciate the theatrics that go into some of these entrances, because some of these entrances, they're spectacular. Other entrances I've seen fall flat on their face, but his was something special, and he was a special talent, and he will be sorely missed. And of course, another thing I do want to add is his brother wrestled in WWE as Bo Dallas. And as I mentioned before, his father was known as IRS, Irvin R. Shyster, in WWF, WWE. So he comes from a wrestling family. Barry Windham is one of his relatives. That's where he gets his first name. So WWE has lost a great talent. The world has lost a great talented performer. And I feel lucky to have been able to see him in person. I really do. Any thoughts?
I think you kind of hit everything just about right there. I mean, it's sad to see these guys going so young as they are, but I'll tell you one thing: I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. He put you in a headlock and watch your head pop. I mean,
Yep.
But you can also see that there's a character. There's that picture right there. There's a character in him. There's that little twinkle where we're gonna have a little fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and reading some of the quotes from WWE superstars past and present, they all were just glowing about him because of what he brought not only in the ring but also outside of the ring. The person that he was.
Which is important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why it makes those entrances so memorable. And he had that shtick. He was able to put a lot of his personality into that. And I think that's what helps with entrances is they know when you're phoning it in and they know when you really mean it.
There's many superstars, wrestlers, whatever you want to call them, men, women who have been given a gimmick, and some of them have been able to take that gimmick and run with it, and then others they flounder and eventually are released.
Back to the minors with you.
So this is, like I said, this is one that I think WWE is going to fill for quite a while, just because of the presence he had in the period of time that he was in WWE when he made his debut back in 2011 as part of the Nexus faction, and there were NXT superstars, up and coming superstars who were paired with current WWE superstars like Bryan Danielson, also known as Daniel Bryan, in WWE when he was paired with Chris Jericho, and the way they played off each other with Bryan being the face and Jericho being the heel. It just worked. So he's gonna be missed.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely rest in peace. Now I am gonna break it up a little bit. We will talk about Arleen Sorkin and Bob Barker, but I'm going to go ahead and go on to this next article, and it's about the RoboCop game. And the RoboCop game is being delayed. So let me just post a link in Rumble, YouTube, and Kick for anybody who is watching over there.
Rumble.
This way you can read it on your own if you wish. And let's go ahead and get into this article, shall we? This article comes from comicbook.com. It was posted on the 26th, so yesterday. And it says RoboCop Rogue City quietly delayed again. RoboCop Rogue City will now release on November 2nd. This article is by Tanner Deadman and goes on to say RoboCop Rogue City will no longer be releasing in September as developer Teon and publisher Nikon previously said it would. The game never had a set release date for the month and was instead just given the window, but now it's gotten a firmer date of November 2nd. The delay was announced not with the normal text on black background format that most game announcements typically adopt nowadays, and was instead quietly stated in the new trailer for the game that set the date, and goes on to say it'll be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC platforms when it's released. The new trailer and accompanying delay were both shared as part of Nikon's Gamescom 2023 plans. The new date itself wasn't even technically in the trailer and was only in the description of the YouTube upload. And even that date had it at a 2024 release date, not 2023, but it appears that was an error with the game confirmed for a November 2nd, 2023 release date. And of course, it has the new trailer in here. I'm not going to play it, but I will copy the link for the trailer. And I'm going to go ahead and post it in the chat for anybody who wants to check it out. And just got to post it in Rumble and Kick. I mean, I've already made up my mind. I'm going to buy this game.
Yeah, I know some of the complaints about this game from some people. I don't know. It's like, well, it's an arcade shooter, but if they're not ready yet, they're not ready. Are we worried about a copyright claim or something? I don't know. Showing the trailer, or you just?
I'm worried about the copyright claim, considering the music. If it has any of the music from the movies,
pause it right or turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about. So I'm just, working on the side of caution.
Yep.
Always best to do that.
Yeah.
I know some will argue, but Mike, it's free advertising for these companies. Yes, it is, but a lot of these companies don't see it. They'll still give you a copyright claim anyway.
Yeah. It's like we say the same thing. It's like, but it's like, companies are morons. Companies are morons.
Even with the Star Trek stream that's coming up in a couple of weeks, I've had to do as many editing tricks that I know to do that I'm hoping, fingers crossed, won't get picked up by the bots. Well, we'll have to wait and see when that happens. But getting back to this, it says the new trailer in question shows off a mix of cinematic scenes and a bit of gameplay where the tanky Robocop mows down assailants in his path. The occasional non-violent puzzle-esque segment is seen as well to give Robocop a break from the policing. Only Robocop can clean up the crime-ridden streets of old Detroit, reads the description from the YouTube trailer, which confirmed the new release date. Follow the part man, part machine in this gameplay trailer, combining detective work and gory shootouts. Reinforcements arrive on November 2nd, 2024. And as it mentioned earlier in the article, the 2024 year was a mistake. It's actually 2023. And it says Robocop Rogue City delays impressions. While the delay is obviously unfortunate for those who were hoping for the game to be out in just a couple of weeks, it's not the first time the game's release date has been pushed back. It was originally supposed to come out at some point in June, but it got a quiet delay months ago that pushed the game back to sometime in September, with the occasional trailer and teaser released since then to show off more of Rogue City. Part of those insights we've gotten from the game have been from hands-on opportunities as well. Months ago, comicbook.com was able to speak with the creators of Rogue City and got to play the game for a bit too. While the game doesn't yet have a set rating, the developers said they're shooting for a mature rating so that they can accurately portray the level of violence one might expect from a RoboCop game. The original RoboCop star, Peter Weller, has returned for the role in the game, and as fans might have hoped, the developers said he was immediately in character when he stepped in to record lines for Rogue City. And it says you can check out some of our impressions of the game via the first look video at the top. So again, that's that video that I posted the link for. But as I've said, my mind's already made up, and this is going to be a game I'm going to buy. I'll probably end up streaming it.
No, this is actually in many ways a good thing. I mean, I don't know if that's because of what it is behind there. But we just had Bear and FetLife come out, which was a big release. We have Starfield coming out here in a few days, which is going to be another big one. So
it should be. It should be.
Yeah. Oh, Starfield, I think is.
I want it to be. It's just Bethesda has a bad record.
Oh, they got a bad record
with their bugs. So yeah.
But we know that this is a big release because there's a lot of people that are excited about this, and a lot of people crossing their fingers. So best not to compete with all that and do it around November. Besides, you're getting closer to the Christmas season that way also. So that's not really a bad idea. Why compete with all that? And if Starfield does kind of crash and burn, well, you're there to pick up the ashes.
Yeah, you are. And let's also not forget, the disaster that was the release of Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
How many companies are looking at that and going, let's not make that same mistake?
That was amazing. No problems, nothing. It was great.
And
very funny, Cash. Very, very funny.
I have a little faith, though. I have to confess, I have a little bit of faith in Bethesda this time because they're making it known all across the board. We're doing everything we can. Man. We're doing everything we can.
The problem is with Phil Spencer is that he sometimes talks way too much about things, and he needs to shut his mouth because a lot of talk and not much action, and that's what Microsoft has been recently. Sony's done a little bit better job, but not much. When people tell me that one console has greatness over the other, I always ask the same question: where is the greatness? Where is it? But yes, I would like Starfield to be great, but I'm still going to play it first on Game Pass and then see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I've already downloaded it with this, size of the download. I basically left my computer on overnight just so it could get it all downloaded. And I am going to play it. I don't know if I'm going to stream it, but I'm definitely going to play it.
Right.
And I do want to say hello to Captain Phantom Nerd. Hello, Captain.
Captain on deck.
So, in my opinion, I think this is a good idea to delay it to November. This way, any and all bugs can be ironed out.
Right.
And upon release date, even if there are some bugs, let's hope they're not to the level of Jedi Survivor. That's the bar I have set now for releases. Don't release a game and it turns out like Jedi Survivor on release date.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just scratch my head also with the fact that people are still going out of their way to defend games that are $70, and a lot of the times they don't have $70 worth of content. And I'm not going to tell people we're never an echo chamber in any of our channels, or we try our best not to be, but I just think a lot of this defense of certain things that are happening in gaming is ridiculous. I know Mike regrets spending $70 on Jedi Survivor, but you still had some fun with it.
Because when it worked, it worked well. But when it didn't work, it's like, okay, I've got to end this stream. I've got to stop playing. It's like trying to battle Darth Vader when you're playing as here. And you get through not even the beginning of the fight, and that part of the game crashes. All because of graphics settings that you had to keep changing. It wasn't until, I turned off the VSync that everything was stable. I shouldn't have to go through all the graphic settings just to make the game stable enough to be playable.
Exactly.
But I mean, even going back to Batman Arkham Knight, especially if you have an NVIDIA card, it was an absolute stuttering mess. And it took at least a few months or more for them to fix it. So there's no excuse for these games to now be especially $70 and at launch.
Right.
That it just seems to me that I would tell a lot of people just look for a deal. And if you're not and you really want that game, forget about spending $70 on the base game. Go for the higher version. Forget it. Pay some more money if you're really that interested. But no, the nonsense that went on in Jedi Survivor was ridiculous for especially PC users. But console players had trouble too. So then other people didn't have many problems. Well, good for them. But a number of people did, and it's not excusable. It really isn't.
No, you should have the best product possible out there.
And I do want to also say, and this isn't related to RoboCop, but I do want to mention to TCAP Steve and also Captain Fandom Nerd. Phil knows because he was there last Sunday. But Lester, the Skeptic Tank, gifted 5 Pacific4 memberships. So I just want to say welcome aboard as one of the first 9 members on Pacific414. And I will schedule the next member stream in September before those memberships expire, so you all can join.
Yay!
So, anything else you want to say about RoboCop before we move on to our next story?
No. I mean, I'm not put off by this. I feel it's it's a win-win with this one. It's a win that give them time to make sure everything is good, and it's also another win that it's not competing with Starfield, and it's still on the tails of Bears and FetLife.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Miss Arleen Sorkin. Let me get the link to the article, and then after we talk about this article, I will talk about the future of open panels here on Pop Talk. So, getting the links posted in their appropriate chats. Don't want to post the same link into the same chat twice. Not to say that wouldn't happen. I'm sure it probably would at some point. But here we go. Let me just go ahead and share the screen instead. And this article comes from Superhero Hype. It was posted yesterday, as everybody knows. And it says Arleen Sorkin passes away. Harley Quinn voice actress was 67. And this article is by Tyler Treese. And it says Harley Quinn voice actress Arleen Sorkin has passed away at the age of 67. The news was broken by fellow veteran voice actor Neil Kaplan. And Neil Kaplan actually voiced a version of Optimus Prime in Transformers Robots in Disguise. And it says, it broke my heart to hear the original voice of Harley Quinn, Arleen Sorkin, has passed away, said Kaplan. I adored her as HQ and Calliope in Days of Our Lives. And also goes on to say, I was told by a reliable source, sorry, but I wish to respect their anonymity. Sorkin was the first to voice Quinn, who was created by her colleague friend Paul Dini in the legendary Batman the Animated Series. She would reprise the role, which she wound up inspiring in several series such as Superman the Animated Series, Gotham Girls, Static Shock, and Justice League, as well as several video games. Sorkin also appeared as Miss Bambi in the movie Batman Mask of the Phantasm and reprised her Quinn role in Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Prior to voice acting, Sorkin played Calliope Jones in Days of Our Lives and was a co-host on America's Funniest People. She was married to television producer Christopher Lloyd, co-creator of Modern Family, and had 2 sons. And just like Superhero Hype, we here at Pop Talk not only express our condolences to the friends and family of Arleen Sorkin, but we also express our condolences to the friends and families of Bray Wyatt and Bob Barker.
Yeah, I mean, being married to Christopher Lloyd, not to be confused with okay.
Right.
I mean, he's a powerhouse out there. I mean, doing Golden Girls, Wings, Frasier's, Modern Family, programs like that. His father was also big on that writing. So, I mean, she was around a lot of talent. Of course, needless to say, she was one of the talent that was around all the talent. And far too young, 63.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just
67.
too young of an age.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anyone says. That's 67 years too young.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, 67. Yeah. It's and you know what? And here's an interesting little fact. She was born in Washington, D.C.
I did not know that.
Yep. Washington, D.C. So what a place to be born.
Yeah. Yeah, considering you have all the politics that go on in DC, and she's born there, and of course, Northern Virginia area.
Mm-hmm. There we go. And I guess there was some good politicking going on there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we keep on losing them. She did a great job as Harley.
She did, and even T-Gap Steve is saying, without her, I imagine Harley wouldn't have become any more than a background character for an episode. Exactly, it's the way she portrayed the character.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Hello, Mr. J.
Yeah.
Just it brought more life to it. I mean, obviously she first popped up in the comics, but then because of this, the animated Batman, the animated series, like the character just became bigger.
Wait, I thought Harley was created for the animated series, and then she was the comics.
Yeah,
was it?
Okay. Yeah, she's one of the rare ones where she went into a show or program, and then they had to bring it into the comic universe.
Oh, really? She wasn't in the comics first? Probably.
No, created specifically for the Batman animated series.
Wow. Is that the same with characters like Red Claw too, then, Baron? Do you know?
I can't say on that one, to be honest.
I'll look into
I just know specifically for Harley Quinn, she was created for the animated series, and then they brought her over into the comics.
Right.
Oh, well, wow. That's awesome. But I guess that has happened before.
It has.
It started off as in an animated show, and then they added it to the comics. Well, yeah.
Our movie or whatever. Yeah, I mean, sometimes they can write a animated character that is right on being a comic book character. It's like that.
Well, if they care enough.
Yeah, well, that's how good the character. Yeah,
right.
And you have to say a lot of that had to do with her and how she did the voice.
Plays the character, the voice. Yeah, she added a lot of personality to Harley Quinn.
Right, because they draw to how she's talking. So I mean, how she's talking, and then doing how she's going to move and look, and all that goes right off of what her voice is. A script, obviously, but. You have to match up how the voice inflections are. So, everybody there
that's awesome.
that they're able to take her skill and translate it even more successfully.
Yeah, I mean, I even looking at this thumbnail, I even wonder if maybe they, looked at Arleen Sorkin as inspiration for how the character is going to look.
Right, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, she was also great in Arkham Asylum.
Right.
I don't know what they got. Was it Tara Strong replaced her? Right.
Yeah, Tara Strong.
And I like her Harley Quinn as well, but I like them both. But once again, Arleen's basically the founder.
The OG. She's
That's
the OG.
right. That's right. So.
Right.
There's a lot of really great memories of Batman the Animated Series. That's something we may want to watch again soon, or at least a few episodes, find ones with Harley. But even, before these people, passed away, or they're obviously still alive. It's just that show, just in general, is just so great, and Harley definitely adds another piece to that show. Just a great animated show, I would say, for kids, adults. Yeah.
Yeah, she adds another interesting layer to the whole dynamic of the series.
Yes. Mr. J. Yeah, it's great.
I mean, thanks to voice actors and actresses and the way they portray the character and they record the lines and they emote, even if it's a villain, you actually care about what the villain's trying to accomplish.
Yeah, they draw you in.
Yeah.
Yep. And she probably, when she auditioned for the role as Harley Quinn, they were probably blown away. So wait, they said she was friends before with Paul Dini, right? So, or it had been, I don't know if they had any kind of previous friendship before Batman.
They had a previous friendship. That's
what
she was brought into.
So that's really cool.
Read for the character. Yeah.
But I mean, you go down the list of characters, that all the personality that was added to Batman the Animated Series. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the different names besides Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill that were part of Batman the Animated Series. I mean, Rene Auberjonois, he was part of it. And several others, of course. I mean, even Mask of the Phantasm, you
great, yeah.
You had different people, and of course, David Warner.
Oh yeah.
Oh, David Warner.
What an actor!
Another great actor. Unfortunately, isn't with us anymore.
Klingon, Kardashian, human.
She also popped up on an episode of Frasier. Yeah.
Which, of course, her husband worked on.
That's cool. And then, of course, she was in Batman Return of the Joker. That was quite good. Very, very good TV animated film.
Well, the Batman Beyond series was very good.
Yes.
They were, whoever was in charge of all that knew how to do a follow-up series like that, where it's like, okay, now it's the next generation.
Yeah.
And how they treat the characters. And we need days like that again.
Well, if people can find that passion and energy and saying, listen, do you guys want to make money or not? Do you want to make a lot of money? Well, this is a potential chance to make that money. So, there's still some people out there who are willing to push the boundaries. Not many in Hollywood, but a few.
Right. And you need to. You need to do a push, and you gotta.
Yes.
Within the confines of what it's supposed to be. So.
Yep. And I would hope even DC would put out some really good animated film again of Batman or something else. I guess there was one that came out recently, the Justice League. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I think the last one I watched was that Green Lantern one. Yeah, that was really good. I thought that was very good overall. It was like a little over an hour, but yeah. I don't know. They can do this stuff if they want to. They certainly have the money somewhere.
They have the money. They have the talent, but the question is, do they want to?
That's right. Yep.
And do you have anything else you guys would like to add?
No. Unfortunately.
It's just very tragic. A lot of great memories of Harley Quinn. The animated series.
All right. So moving on from that story, now I have something. It is an announcement, and it is concerning open panels. And what's the future of open panels? As some of you may know, some of you don't know, we haven't had an actual open panel since the second open panel in May. And back in June, we had somebody basically throw a tantrum in the chat and say a few things that I sincerely hope they didn't mean, but because of what was said in the chat, I put the open panels on hiatus. And I've been thinking about different ways to bring them back and how I'm going to bring them back. And I have decided that I will bring them back. However, they are not going to be every single edition of Pop Talk like they were before. They're not even going to be twice a month like they were before. It is going to happen once a month on a Sunday. And how that's going to work is on a Sunday edition of Pop Talk. For the first hour, it will be Baron, Cash, and myself for that first hour. In the second hour, there will be an open panel portion of Pop Talk. So if there's something that we're talking about and you want to add your 2 cents to it, by all means, come on, add your 2 cents. But if there's something that we're talking about and all you're going to do is say, well, I don't want to talk about that the moment you get on the panel, then why are you going to click the link when the link's there? You might as well just stay in the chat if there's a topic that we're talking about and that you're not interested in. But I also want to say, if anyone does join the open panel in the second half of Pop Talk, and the first one will be in September on, let me just double check the date. The first one will be on September 10th, Sunday, September 10th, in the second hour of Pop Talk. Now, I have some rules that I am laying down. And one of the rules is do not come on to the panel and immediately start self-promoting yourself or someone else. Wait until the end of the show or when you're getting ready to leave, and I have given you permission to promote yourself or someone else to start saying what's going on your channel. We've had it too many times where someone's come on and they've immediately started promoting themselves. I haven't said anything, but Baron and Cash both know that I do not appreciate that. They have heard me say it. And if someone does start promoting themselves right away without me saying, Baron, go ahead and tell us what's going on in Phantom Legacy, or you're getting ready to leave, and I say, Baron, go ahead and tell us what's going on in Phantom Legacy, or Cash, tell us what's going on Phantom Hooligans, then strike one, you'll get a verbal warning. And that verbal warning will not come from Baron. It will not come from Cash. It will come from me. I will give you a verbal warning. I will tell you, now is not the time. Save any self-promotion until the time has come. And I will let you know when the time has come. Now, if someone persists and they want to promote themselves again without being asked to promote themselves, then I will be the one muting you. Not Baron, not Cash, but me. I will mute you for 5 minutes. And if you choose to stay and after I've unmuted you and you continue to want to self-promote without being given the podium, the opportunity to promote yourself, then strike 3, I will boot you from the channel. not Baron, not Cash. I will boot you from the panel. I don't mind if someone self-promotes themselves. They're excited about something that they're doing on their channel, a live stream that's coming up. But I think it's very rude for someone to come on and start promoting themselves, advertising themselves when they haven't been asked. It has gotten old. And what's also gotten old is some people coming on and saying, for example, having a watch party. Oh, I don't like this movie. Okay, well, you don't like this movie. You don't have to watch this movie. But leave it for the people who actually want to watch the movie and enjoy this movie. Don't come on and say, I don't enjoy this movie. All right. You don't have to be here. No one's forcing you to be here. And another thing I do want to bring up is if you're on the panel, whether it's a watch party, whether it's an open panel in the second half of a Sunday edition of Pop Talk, wear headphones. Also, besides wearing headphones, silence any background noise. I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for any of you or Baron or Cash, but I do find it annoying when you're on a stream and you hear background noise, whether it's from music or a TV show. And I've had experiences where I've, held my own live streams and someone's been on and they have their TV up real loud. It's like, we don't want to hear that right now. We want to focus on what's going on in the stream. I am doing this because I want this channel to succeed. And the only way it can succeed is if I start laying my foot down, putting my foot down, and saying, no more. There have been many people that we've met, and I've enjoyed having you here. And I want that to continue. I really do. But there are things that have gone on that I haven't been too happy with, especially after that Sunday edition back in June, where we had someone who was a close friend of the channel. And the way that person acted. And again, I hope they didn't mean what they said, but I haven't spoken with them since that incident. And I'm hoping that one day we can actually smooth things out. But also, Baron, Cash, if there's anything you would like to ask me or say about this, and anyone in the chat, please go ahead.
You covered it all up. I mean,
You covered it all,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
I mean, T-Cap's got it right there.
Mhm.
But I didn't think Steel Underpants was that high up on the list. I thought it was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And let's see, we've got Tim's Talk who says, "What?
Oh, sorry.
One second.
Okay.
What's up, Closet Raylos?"
No.
I'm many things, but sorry, Tim, I'm not a Closet Raylo.
No.
No
Me
offense,
either,
brother.
Tim.
That's fake news. Fake news.
And I know someone that might take it. Oh, Mike's being an asshole about setting these rules. I'd even mention back on the December 18th edition of Pop Talk things that I wanted to go on. And for some people, no, I'm not saying everybody. I'm not saying everybody. I'm not lumping everybody into the same basket. But there were some people, as soon as they heard it, it went in one ear and out the other. And at the end of the day, this channel is my responsibility. I control what goes on here. And if I allow it to go on too long, then when is it going to stop? That's the thing. It won't stop. So I got to put my foot down and say, no more.
Some people, not going to mention names, they act like their channel is so much better than other people's channels. This is a community. We're supposed to all work together. It's not a competition. One channel isn't better than the other one. It's silly.
Cash. I'm trying to be more humble. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to be more humble.
And TK Steve says, I think you're being quite generous there, Mano. Giving them more than one shot to mess up before they get kicked. I probably am. Honestly, Steve, I probably am being a little more than generous.
Well,
but as I wrap up each and every stream, at least when I remember to say it, remember, I'm not just a baseball guy, I'm an all-around guy. But in this case, I'm putting in something baseball related. 3 strikes, you're out. You're getting 3 chances. 3 chances, and this clip won't be played as a joke anymore. This clip will be the clip. If the 3rd strike comes, you are gone.
You're gone!
He beat me to the baseball joke. I was going to say Mike's no longer a all-around guy. He's a baseball guy. 3 strikes, you're out. You beat me to it.
Well, you know what? I knew what pitch I wanted to throw.
The curveball, I see.
I was thinking about the sinker.
Oh, okay. Like my hopes and dreams. Okay, yeah, okay.
But really, I want everybody's honest opinion. I mean, one of the things I have enjoyed about doing Pop Talk is having open panels. But what it comes down to is there have been things that have happened, and I need to curtail it. I need to pull in the reins. So let's see. Phil is saying Cash Money owes me $2. Where's my $2? That's not what we're talking about right now, Phil. Mm-hmm. And T-Gap Steve has a suggestion for when you have it open. Might add, don't do this to the ticker at the bottom so they can't claim they weren't warned. Well, they can complain, but it'll be baseless. Yep, that is something I'm going to consider and probably should be done.
I'm always complaining.
Oh, yeah, you're only complaining because you're here.
Yeah. It's in my contract.
What contract? But ultimately, I still want this to be a fun stream to come to. But I'm not afraid to step on a few toes and, push my weight around when I have to. And there's a side of me that says I'm not going to tolerate this. So if anyone has anything else they'd like to suggest, by all means, the floor is yours.
Nothing here.
Cash, chat?
Nope.
Okay.
Going once, going twice.
Okay. So I know someone's probably going to say, you're talking about open panels, Mike, but you've had watch parties in the past. Mm-hmm. How does that affect the open panels? Watch parties are a special thing where we have it on occasion. So whatever day we decide to have the watch party edition of Pop Talk, the same rules still apply. Especially, not promoting yourself unless you're asked, and making sure that during the watch party, so everybody can enjoy the movie, especially if it's their first time watching the movie, that you wear headphones and you silence any background noise. I know I need to. You guys get the point. You guys get the point. But that's the rule going forward. Now, Baron
Yo,
and Cash, if you guys, especially here on Pop Talk, would like to help me enforce those rules, as co-host, you can say something. But the first person who will say something is me. And Steve says, if I have anything else that comes to mind, you'll be the second to know. All right, Steve. You know how to get in touch with me. So, real quick before we move on, anything else?
not for me.
Okay.
And
Cash?
He's doing dishes.
Nope.
All
I'm
right.
not actually, Baron. How dare you?
So I do want to say, when we have the open panel, I look forward to having the open panels again. But again, no self promotion. And if you have a certain number of subscribers, mention that when you're being allowed to promote your channel,
Mhm.
but not before then. It's not that I don't care. There's an appropriate time and an appropriate place. And Phil is saying, "Wake up, Cash Money." He's awake. He's just listening.
That's right. You want to fight me today, Phil? That's fine. Hold on.
He's wrapping his week's worth of tofu in the kale. That way he's got his
Tofu. Have you ever had tofu, Baron?
Oh gosh, that stuff is nasty.
It's not the best. It doesn't have much of a taste from what I remember, but it was okay.
Well, that's why you wrap it with the kale.
I never have had kale.
Baron and Cash always causing trouble. And then, of course, you have an instigator named Phil McCracken.
Always.
He's the one that will basically start the fight and then look for a way to get out of the area before anybody becomes wise that he was the one who instigated everything.
Phil, he's the devil.
All right, so now we're moving on to this next article here. And it's from IGN. And I don't know about you guys, but I was looking forward to seeing Dune Part 2 in November.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to lie.
No.
It would be nice, but yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
But of course, a certain writer's strike, and more specifically an actor's strike, has caused Hollywood to delay or push back a lot of their releases, except for Aquaman. I was surprised Aquaman didn't get moved as well, but I guess you got to give people something to watch. But this article from IGN says Dune Part 2 delayed to 2024, Godzilla versus Kong, The New Empire, and Lord of the Rings, The Lore of the... I can't even say that. Rehoram. Thank you, Baird. Thank you. Thank you for being the one who can say the words I can't.
Oh, I can barely do that. But
the War of Rehoram are also shifting. So this article is by Alex Stedman. It was posted on the 25th. It says, in a major shift to the 2023 calendar, Dune Part 2 has been pushed back several months from November 3rd, 2023 to March 15th, 2024, Warner Brothers announced today. The sequel to the 2021 film was set to be one of 2023's major theatrical releases, and the delay happens as Hollywood's writers and actor strikes continue. At least partly at issue is the fact that stars Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya won't be able to promote Doom Part 2 if the SAG-AFTRA strike is still going in November. It goes on to say the shift caused something of a domino effect for WB's calendar, as the studio also announced today that it's moving Godzilla vs. Kong, the New Empire, out of that March 15th spot to April 12th, 2024, and also delayed The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim animated film from April 12th, 2024 to December 13th, 2024. The new date for The War of Rohirrim at least is fairly fitting, as Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies were always a big December releases. There have already been plenty of delays, and there will surely be more to come as the Writers Guild of America and SAG-AFTRA remain on the picket lines, fighting for a better deal with Hollywood studios. Films like Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse have been delayed indefinitely, while Disney recently did a massive reshuffle of its upcoming Marvel, Star Wars, and Avatar films. But Doom Part 2 is a fairly unique case, given the fact that the movie has finished filming and the delay is likely due to the aforementioned promotional issues, or at least the studio trying to spread out its calendar a little bit more. The promotional bans likely impacted Blue Beetle's opening, which ended up with a pretty lackluster debut this past weekend, despite positive reviews. Yeah, but it, I don't even know that even if they were able to promote that movie, if it still would have been a bomb at the box office.
Well,
I
yeah,
really don't know.
I don't care about the reviews. We know the reviewers are a bunch of BS artists.
Of course they are. Of course they are. That's their job, to BS.
Mm-hmm. Well, now it is. It used to be at one time to give an honest review.
And I do want to say hello to Stephen Ransom, who says, "Hello, the Price is Right was a major part of my childhood. He taught me what spay and neutered meant." That's very true. That's how Bob Barker would end every broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to have your pets spayed and neutered. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It also goes on to say it remains to be seen whether other studios will follow WB's lead with their remaining 2023 releases. Some of the biggest blockbusters still to come include The Marvels, November 10th, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, November 17th, and Wish, November 22nd. Interestingly, WB did not push back Wonka, December 15th, which of course also stars Chalamet, or Aquaman and The Lost Kingdom, December 20th. So it still has some potential heavy hitters on schedule. Well, they can't push back every single movie. They still have to at least have one or two out there for people to watch theaters. Otherwise, the theaters themselves are going to go broke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't want to necessarily put their big gun Dune 2 out at this, so they'll throw something else out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not, as much as I like to see Dune right away here, it's being delayed because of the strike. Okay, so what? I can live. I got the miniseries. I got the 84 film. Not that that's a great adaptation, but it's like, yeah, I mean, so what? Okay, it's like, see what they're doing to you. It's delayed. I can wait. I don't care. This break can go on for 20 seasons. I heard one of the demands that the writers want in this, and when it comes around to a TV show, depending, of course, how many episodes there are for that season. They're demanding that there be at least 5 to 10 writers that season.
Why do you need that many writers? If you're a good, competent writer, you can write a TV show with 3-4 writers.
Or if you're really good, you can be like JMS and write it all by yourself. And if they push for something like that, how would we have something like Babylon 5, where Straczynski virtually wrote the majority of the episodes?
Yeah.
Including entire seasons where it was just him. Season 3, season 4, and then season 5, he took a break for one episode and let Neil Gaiman write an episode. And he holds the records for that. Well, if they go out there with the writers and demanding that for that season we have to have at least 5 to 10, depends on the length of the season, that means he's got to parcel out these to various other writers. And then what does that happen to his plan? That is completely, I mean, I realize what they're trying to do with that is get job security, but that's the wrong way to do it. It will only make TV worse, because you've had many shows where it was a small core group of writers that were part of it. And they were all in tune. It's kind of hard to go out there and get in tune when you have to basically bring in writing diversity hires. And that's what it is. It's diversity hires in the sense that, oh, you can't get a job? We'll make sure you have a job. Oh, if you don't get a job because you suck? That's okay. We'll still give you a job.
I mean, look at Star Trek, guys. You know, the original series, it had a small team of writers. Next Generation, small team of writers. DS9, small team of writers. Some of those same writers from Next Generation. And the same goes with Voyager and Enterprise.
Right.
You don't need a village to write an episode.
No.
You just need a good small team that can actually put their ideas from a whiteboard to a script.
Right.
Right. And that's the big thing there. And they know that. They know that they don't have good writers no more. So they gotta do something about it. And instead of doing the right thing, you're sending them to actual classes that teach how to do proper writing. We'll just make sure you get the participation trophy. And so what if it causes our show to tank?
Let's push this agenda and push it down everybody's throats over and over again, where instead of our message coming across loud and clear and the audience, thinking about it, the audience rejects our series because they're tired of us forcing an agenda down their throats.
Yeah.
And you can't blame the audience for doing that.
Or more importantly than that, preaching instead of having something out where you think about it. It's like we're preaching. We're telling you how to be. We're not letting you think because you're not smart enough to think. We're writers. We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I could sit down right now and write 26 episodes for a season like J. Michael Straczynski did for Babylon 5.
And really, honestly, kudos to him for being able to do that. It was not an easy job, and you gotta give tons of kudos. But now you're threatening visionaries' ideas and dreams by doing this.
Yeah,
so,
these ideas are fine, but these are wrong. So you're like,
And I do want to welcome Killer Rabbit from space, who says, "Greetings, humans." Greetings to you, Killer Rabbit.
Welcome.
Glad to see you here.
I mean, I guess it's time that these people start thinking about going over to England and writing over there. They don't have rules like that.
No.
I mean, honestly.
And TCAP Steve has a great idea here. Here's an idea. Okay, 10 writers per show. But if the show doesn't get the viewing numbers, those writers are kicked out of the WGA for 10 to 15 years. Yeah, really put the pressure on them to write a good script, a compelling script.
Oh, that one. I love that idea, actually. I love that idea. But, they can't do it because it's only, for them, it's only one way. It's one way. How dare you hold us accountable? Because we are writers.
Yeah.
As a writer, I can tell you, it's like, no, really, honestly, settle down, Harlan Wilson wannabe. You have not impressed. Many of you have not impressed what we have out there, which again is the reason why I don't watch much TV today.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. It's horrible.
There's a few shows, but
there's a few,
much.
but that's the
There's
thing.
a few.
How many hours of television are there right now? It's almost like the internet when it comes to that between cable outlet and then you have the various other streaming stuff. I mean, we have so many hours, and then it's like, well, there's a few out there. Well, that's like 2% of the population is not keeping it going. And the population, I mean the writing population. You just have to take a look what they did. For crying out loud, their great idea is to have a musical episode of friggin' Space Travels, Bizarre Old Worlds. I mean, it's, you just see how the quality of the writing, even season 3 of Picard, which people are hailing, it's great, fine. You like it. I'm not gonna diss on you, but from my viewpoint, watching it, there was horrible writing, and it was also basically, let's lace it with as many member berries as possible. That's not writing, especially a convoluted story. Get down to the basics. You have the 3 acts, in the writing. You get to the one, you go to the other, and you get to the 3rd act, which seals everything up. J.J. Abrams doesn't know how to do the 3rd act. He's great. He's great at doing the opening. He's a great opener, but he's not a closer. To give him praise.
Yeah.
I'll give him praise. Honestly, he can start something out, but he himself can't.
It's just not. I mean, Alias. I don't know. Right. I mean, there are other people, but yeah, I would say he did a nice job with Alias.
Yeah.
He did. I was never really a big fan of Felicity, which is one of the first shows that I guess put him on the map and stuff.
Right.
I did like Super 8. I did enjoy that. I did like Cloverfield. There's some things that Abrams did that I enjoyed, but once again, when you take on something like Star Wars or Star Trek, it's just a bigger beast. And as I always said, you can enjoy those movies or not enjoy those movies, but they really don't. They really don't mean much. I would say, as I told you before, Baron, I don't even though I like Beyond and I like those other Star Trek movies, I don't remember them. But I can tell you right now things about Star Trek 4. I can tell you things right now about Star Trek 3. I can tell you about Wrath of Khan. I can tell you about Motion Picture. I can tell you about Star Trek 6. But and I know how people feel also about the end of Lost, and that. But it didn't bother me as much as other people. It's the same with some people were upset about. I remember one person said, "Oh, it was horrible how Battlestar Galactica ended," and I'm like, the reboot. And I'm like, well, how did you want it to end? I mean, it made sense to me, but whatever. That guy was, I think, even more opinionated about certain things than I was. But
wow,
certain I know, right? No, but those things didn't bother me. I like the ending to Battlestar Galactica, the reboot. I didn't think it was bad. Why wouldn't they try to find another planet after everything that happened? Basically start over in a way.
Well, that's what the premise of Battlestar Galactica was. Even the original
Exactly. So what's the? So I didn't understand his argument about that.
At least they didn't go to Earth in 1980. That's all I could say. And T-Gap Steve, that's why he films his girlfriend or his wife when she's his boyfriend. That's that's his best.
Well, as
a filmmaker, he can do that.
Look, people can say whatever they want, but when some anybody comes out in Hollywood, or anybody for that matter, and say that they're a male feminist, I think my brain starts exploding. I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you can be what you want, man, but that just sounds really ridiculous. We'll go with that. Yeah.
Right. But I'm praising Abrams. People can't say, but the thing, what I've just noticed is he needs to have other people close his stuff for him, and of course, the rise of Palpatine is a perfect example where he can't close a story. That counts. So, I mean, he's a great idea, man. He's a great idea, man.
Yeah, I don't. And I'm not going to put everything on Star Wars of him. I mean, I think Crit said it before that if he was the one who started and closed it, it would probably be better than bringing in Ruin Johnson. But there's things that he has even done, including Looper, that I enjoyed. But once again, stuff like Star Wars is a different beast. And I feel, this is just my opinion, Baron, of course, I feel that you got to treat it with a certain respect. And if you're working on Star Wars, for me, you got to do certain things that George did. Certain things. You don't have to do everything, but certain things.
Well, be like Irvin Kershner. There's certain things you got to do because of the universe. But the big thing is Irvin Kershner, who obviously was a somebody, he was Lucas's teacher, kept his ego in check. Ruin Johnson and Abrams, they don't keep their ego in check, and that's the big problem. When you don't have that, you don't. If you got to pull it back and say, no, this is more than just about me. This is somebody else's universe, and I have to be respectful. Obviously, I'm going to put some of my flair. Irvin Kershner put a little bit of his flair with Empire, but as that goes, you have to do wipes, which they didn't do. The various scenes. You got to have that certain feel, which he didn't. None of them both did that. They're too busy making their film. And, it's your film, but it's a little bit more than your film.
Yes, and that's the whole thing. It's just it's the thing. It's like if you took some property and that has been made, we'll say Lord of the Rings. You want all the characters to be black or Hispanic or whatever, which would seem ridiculous. But if it felt like the same, like the novels, and it felt like the Peter Jackson films, especially the first trilogy, the best trilogy in my opinion, then you're like, okay, well then this is a black version or an Asian version or a Hispanic version of the IP. We'll say IP, and that can be fine. I've seen that with fan films. So what's their excuse? What's funny is they want to talk about representation, all okay, but then they have other stereotypes. It's really funny.
Oh yeah, I mean, as I said, I say we all have stereotypes. You can't base everything off of it. Just an idiosyncrasy that we have. And and again, it comes right down to what it's saying. They can't keep their ego in check. It's about them. We're in this such a narcissistic mindset, and which is different from having that ego of knowing I'm capable of doing this job and being secure, to the arrogance level and the snottiness and turning it into about them. And
right.
And with Star Trek and all that, it was Abrams. It's all about me. We had the Jake Skywalker story, the Last Jedi. That was all about Rian Johnson. It was not about Star Wars. I mean, it's just you play in someone else's sandbox. Not dial it back a notch. There's been many writers who have done so when they've gone into these arenas, whether it's Star Trek, Star Wars, whatever, books, comics, and again, they dial back their ego to play in there. That's why you have great talent like Peter David. That's why you have great people like DC Fontana, rest her soul, and the others.
You need it's just. there's marketing. Like, I think Nolan does a lot of really good marketing, and I
Yeah.
know I'm going to be seeing Oppenheimer on Tuesday. I think there's certain people, but they've been around a while. But a lot of these new people, it's just that arrogance that they say is just like they're not appreciative of the opportunities that they get that a lot of us would probably not get. And it's really unfortunate. But
Right.
I really wish I want to see more directors and writers, especially during interviews. But of course, the interviewers are the problem too. They ask stupid questions and they are looking for some stupid agenda where they could ask questions like, what are you going to do for the fans to make this entertaining? What is the goal? Sometimes they ask that, but I wish they would ask that more. And I wish also the writers and the directors and people who have worked hard on this, the PR people, they said, we're really going to try to make something interesting and great, and we'll see how it turns out. Instead of that arrogance, we know it's going to be great.
Well, the thing is now you're going back to it when it comes around to these interviewers. It's ego again. It's all about them too, and they're going to go out there and it's like, what joke can I make at the expense of everything? And again, where should be doing a show about your guest, it goes back to being about them.
Right.
And look at Johnny, look at Merv Griffin, look at Tom Schneider. That was never the case with them.
No.
But because of that, they became giants.
Kimmel
and all these others. I mean, that's why they'll never be giant. Even David Letterman in the early days.
Letterman was. He did a lot of really good entertainment, but so did Conan. It's just
I was just say Conan in the beginning did a lot of good interviews.
A lot. I mean, it went on even farther than the beginning, but it just the last few years, it was like, I don't know where you're going with this, Conan. Like you were never for this kind of culture, so why are you feel you need to change it all? It's the same. There can be funny stuff even on late night shows, but when late night shows become a lecture, just as an example, then it's a problem. And that's why, however you feel about the Gutfeld show, they're doing the old formula again that still people want to see. A lot of people. That's why it's #1 late night. They make fun of each other. They make fun of stuff in politics. They make fun of other things. That's what you should do with your show. And there is some lectures in there, but it's more about their opinions and the jokes that they want to make, and that's what it should be. But when you have people like Stephen Colbert or John Oliver, it's like, yeah, they can make sense sometimes, but then other times they don't make any sense, and they're like, well, what happened here with, we'll say, Dr. Seuss, that had to change. What are you talking about, dude?
Right. And also another thing is they have a lot of the hosts used to be able to be part of the joke or being the butt of the joke. And the ego comes to a point we can't do that no more.
Right.
I mean, you take a look at Johnny when he was the butt of his own jokes on the night show between him and Ed and Doc and even the producers and stuff. It's like, again, it's that ego in check. It's like, part of it with the entertainment, it's like, go ahead and have a shot at yourself.
Right. Exactly. Make these jokes. And so it's just, you don't want to watch it, but you watch something like the Gutfeld show, just as an example. It's like that old type of comedy again, making fun of you have a panel, making fun of this, reading a story, making jokes. It's just, that's what it's supposed to be about.
Well, and again,
it has been. Yeah.
Not to break the, being, where it won't sound like I'm being humble here, but it's like even us. So, obviously now we're being serious. But the banter that we have and the jokes that we have at our own expenses, and and sometimes it's not planned, but working up to a joke and having that that payoff, whether it's are you getting kicked off or whatnot. I mean, it just it's just that flow, being able to work around there, and obviously we're confident in our abilities to express our opinions and our thoughts on stuff,
right?
But we don't let the ego get in the way where like some YouTubers just being pompous pigs, and
Right,
we're
right.
more than happy to take the skill arena as well.
Yep,
Like,
and we're
you
also
know,
happy to listen to criticism, especially if it's
not me.
constructive criticism. Yeah, except you. That's why Mike has to kick you off the panels.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, there's all types of criticism, and
Yes.
constructive criticism. It works. It does. It goes a long way to
Yes,
helping
right.
you improve.
It does. Yep.
And
Yeah, it's just,
and maybe the criticism, you take it. It's like, yeah, no, you're not quite seeing where I'm at.
right.
Just sit back. The payoff is coming. Or it's like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Mhm.
Well, maybe I, should think about doing it this way. I mean, it's just the many ways, and a lot of people can't take criticism. They just can't. And we're talking about good. Criticism is a good thing too. You're critiquing. I mean, if you're going out there to be a critic, criticize just to be an asshole or snotty or pompous pig, well, bugger off. But you're going in there and it's truly meant to help. That's a different thing.
I'm sure we've all had somebody say to us, "Oh, you should make your live stream more like so and so's live stream."
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make this live stream like so and so's live stream. I want to bring my own formula to it.
Right.
Make it unique. Make it different.
I'm lucky. I haven't had anybody do that to me, thank goodness. But then again, they know I'm not. It's like, oh, he's a loser.
But
actually, I've had people sit back and say I should be more like Mike Zero. What do you think?
No,
Baron Zero? No.
Baron Zero? No. No.
I do want to say hello to Cavatino Cavalryman Shay. Good to see you, Shay. I know I've said hello to you in the chat, but I still want to actually say hello to you.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to back up a little bit there. Yeah, we talked about that just before going in, and we got the news on Mikey passing away. So it's just happening too fast. They can't even get things set up right. We couldn't. So it happened so fast with Harley. It's like we were able to get a little thing for her.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the news broke about, first Barker's passing, and then last night is when we found out about Arleen Sorkin. I mean, I didn't have time to put anything together for Arleen Sorkin, but I had time to put stuff together for Bray Wyatt because I used my own video and photos that I had taken at the SmackDown taping from 2014 that I went to. And then, finding clips of Bob Barker. If I had the time, I would have put something together for Arleen Sorkin. But still, I mean, they say everything happens in threes, but this is more than threes.
Yeah, this is
because you've had Terry Funk, you've had Bray Wyatt, you've had Arleen Sorkin, Bob Barker, Mikey Sutton.
And it just, I take a look at it. It's like Mikey Sutton is only a few months older than me. It's like, oh, too young. And I am a zero.
And real quick, because he's here, and it wouldn't be Pop Talk if we didn't play it. Anonymous. Anonymous. Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Hello to Anonymous. Anonymous.
Crazy on the other channel too. Got to.
Yeah. I've heard that somebody's trying to get him to play Baldur's Gate 3. I've just told him, and I'm going to tell him right now, don't do it, brother. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Who's trying to get Anonymous to play it?
Spartacus is trying to play Bear Gate 3.
Well, I mean, he can wave his wand around out there. I'm sure the wildlife would love it.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't want to do anything, he can skip all that stuff too. So.
Oh, like he would.
Oh no, he might not.
Remember what he was looking around for in Hogwarts. He wasn't able to find what he was looking for there. So, he
didn't bring enough magic dust.
Right. So yeah. Studio 54's magic dust. Yes, like, yeah,
That's the one I'm referring to.
on the rear end of a hooker in the bathroom. Whoa, that was supposed to be my inside.
we told him what the Oyster Club was, but he still wanted to go in there. So it's all right, Anonymous.
And Anonymous is saying, and I'm going to do it on my best George Bush Sr. voice, I ain't gonna do it. It wouldn't be prudent.
Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna go. Anonymous, you are light number 842 of the 1,000 point of lights. Not going there.
So,
Mike, he's number 425 point of light of the 1,000 points of light. Cash money. Well, you're now going to be Bitcoin money. So,
yeah, you're just hoping
money.
I give you money. Yeah, you're just hoping I give you money.
Yes. I'll wait for my retort offline.
And Shay is right. 54 is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, Baron, you had something that you wanted to talk about that was Starfield related.
Oh, yeah. Just let me bring it over. And I talked about it last time. And let me get share the screen.
Last time on the Rumble only, but
this was on Rumble only. So I can do a little quick recap. That's not hard. But
not hard at all.
I make a note. Everybody knows, I'm sure, that's within our community that some guy leaked had 40 minutes of the Starfield because they had to re-release the Concord edition or whatever the heck that's called. And actually, it wasn't 40 minutes of gameplay because there's a lot of BS leading up to it and such. And people were saying, "Oh, I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to be spoiled." It's like, you're not going to be spoiled. It's basically what we've already seen from Bethesda. In fact, Bethesda's shown actually more than this, but it's basically the little bit of the tutorial. And I was saying this is kind of suspicious because I did look at the guy's webpage. There's nothing really about gaming on there. There's shorts of him geefing out. That's so he's doing that, and it's like he never showed what was all inside the box, and it didn't even look like the cases were fully opened yet to get the codes. But yet he was able to, on the day, they had the big presentation at the gaming fair. That he goes out there and shows it, and like Mike sitting back says, it's going to take a while for it all download on. I was suspecting this was a plant, that this was done on purposely to get the reason. But we have the story, so the follow up on here, and I'm still, because it can be a little bit deceptive of this headline. But the Starfield leaker has been arrested. His apology to Todd Howard not enough to avoid jail, and this is from WCCF Tech, and Francisco De Mayo, I hope I said that right, is the author. This came out a few days ago. This came out on the 25th. Cash Monet, or Bitcoin, or cryptic Monet, was kind enough to show this one off. So
earlier used crypto. Didn't want
not
yet. Right.
He's going to be Mr. There's going to be Cash Monet coin coming out soon. Earlier this week, those eagerly anticipating the release of Starfield managed to get a first look at the first 40 minutes or so of the game, which is not correct. The whole video is 40 minutes. You're probably seeing maybe about 30 minutes of play on there. Not that I'm encouraging people to go and seek this out, but if that's the thing that was holding you back, don't worry about it. So for the first 40 minutes or so, the game, to someone who got a hold of an early copy of the game, having later filmed himself reviewing the game, it was a matter of time before he would face consequences for his actions. Now, again, like I said, this guy's not a gamer. You see his little play and everything. This guy's not. It comes down, and he even sat back and said that it came to me, didn't even ask for it. And it's like, whoa. They don't do that with Bethesda because how protective they're. But let's continue on with the story. As reported on the Starfield subreddit, the leaker was arrested yesterday, which was the 24th, actually, for possession of marijuana and for theft of property between $2,500 and $10,000. So the arrest really had nothing to do with this. because again, he's showing himself smoking weed on the YouTube. He's now given himself quite a bit of exposure. Come on, Fed's here. Fed's not here, man. That type of thing. So, in his videos and social media posts, the leaker essentially admitted to having stolen goods to sell them for the warehouse he worked at, which included multiple copies of the highly anticipated game by Bethesda. He may have become an internet celebrity overnight. I moved that too fast. Overnight in the gaming community for his funny antics. I didn't find him funny. I thought it was pathetic, which included an apology to Tom Howard, but the price to pay for fame was steep indeed. With the leaker having been arrested and the game being so close to release, the possibility of more major Starfield leaks is quite low. Still, from the official footage that's been released so far, it seems like fans will be in for a treat, even the game's opening looks considerably better than the launch build in last year's, as shown by the short comparison video, blah, blah, blah. Something still is rotten in Denmark, but yeah, he's admitting he's stealing stuff. That's $2,500 to $10,000. So yeah, maybe it is possible he stole from a warehouse, but that still seems fishy. Which warehouse has this that he's working at? You'd think that Bethesda would keep these in their own personal one, and then the next warehouse you'll be seeing would be the shipping companies as it's going out.
Well,
so something doesn't seem right here. Foley, there's more to this story, folks. There really is.
There probably is. Yeah,
but
I'm sure
this
he
guy's
didn't spend that much time in jail, anyways. I doubt it.
No. I don't even know where this guy that did this is, but yeah, it's like in that apology, which we talked about whatever. It was nothing. They didn't even step back and say he may have become an internet celebrity overnight in the community, but for this this is kind of basically the same story. But his we read about his apology, and it's like, well, it doesn't even seem like he gave an apology. It sounds like Tom Howard going out there and saying something's still rotten in Denmark with all this, and yeah, so they can start using that. He got in the warehouse. That's how he got it. Yeah, that's how he got it. And play off of that. I don't know.
And I don't blame TCAP Steve for having a reaction like this. They still sell physical media because you go into your local, stores, whether it be Walmart, Target, or any of the box stores, and you just see their physical media sections getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Well, and the thing is there's no physical media in that one. It's just the codes. They just put it in the little cases to make it look like, hey, look, and you open up and it's like and it says right on there, there's no disc inside. It's just that code. And so basically what you're getting is all the goodies that's inside that box, which I also made mention that you'd think that this guy that did that, he just shows the box that came in. He doesn't show anything that's inside there. With all the swag that they have in there, that you're getting for paying that, you would have, I don't know about you, I would have laid it out. Look at all the goodies in here. Look at this. You want to show the bling. This is the type of guy that that looks like he wants to show the bling, man. Never showed that stuff. That's why there's something not right here, folks. Still not right. And I don't think he's a celebrity, and I'm not excited about this. I think the guy is a hunyuk. And they busted me for smoking weed because I was smoking weed on the internet there, man.
Yeah, man. What'd you get busted for, man? Oh, I was smoking weed, man.
Yeah, they found my weed, man. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was got ahead of myself on that one, didn't I?
What the hell you say?
But even with this article, is still, I'm sorry, this article has holes in it. There's voids in this that are huge in this story. And I don't know. Let's see what's going on here. I'm still dubious about the whole thing. For all we know,
Baron.
maybe Bethesda paid for his bail.
I don't know.
Maybe. We'll
Baron's
never
on the
know. We'll
case.
never find out.
Sherlock Baron.
I'm just letting that Mike Zero in me come out. So
No, Barrett's become the next Columbo. Well, you see here, we've got a case where this guy took this physical media that had these codes in it for this game.
Yeah. Actually, I got one more thing here, Mike. One more thing here, Cash. You like fairy tale stories? I like fairy tale stories. I read Mike get a fairy tale story. This sounds like a fairy tale story. One more thing here.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to read you this story. It's called The Princess Bride.
No, I just wanted to touch base, and I forgot that this was only the Rumble one that we had this show talking about. So just kind of bring people up to speed. But I don't know. There's still, like I said,
Baron's still on the case. He's got his magnifying glass out. He's looking for clues.
I'm not obsessing over it, but every time I read a story on it, it's like, okay, what you not telling us?
He's in jail, man. There's nothing else. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, man. He's like in the Gray Bar Hilton, man.
Yeah.
3 cots. 3 hots in a cot, man.
Yeah, 3 hots in the cut, man. There he is. He's going around making sure he doesn't drop the soap, man. I'm sorry.
I'm very.
TFC says just one more question. Did you smoke weed on the Weed Smoking Podcast?
Just one more thing here. Yeah. One more question.
Smoke. Why aren't you smoking yet?
Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Whoa, 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 whoa. Uh-oh.
And look who we have here. We've got a DJ Ronnie G who says, "Hey, gents.
Nerd and Turtles." That should be his channel. Nerd and Turtles.
Nerd and Turtles. Yes.
Nerd and Turtles. There we
Here
go.
they come.
And let's see, Shay is asking, what is idiotic is when games come out with a steel bookcase but no Blu-ray disc. That is stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's like, look what I got here. Was there anything in there? No. Just like your head? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
gray marriages ain't
what she used to be, ain't what she used to be, ain't what she used to be. We're just having fun right now.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, especially when we got more sad stuff coming up here. We need to have those little breaks or we'll just break down.
Yeah. Nerdles.
Oh, Nerdles. I love it.
I love it. You should change your channel to that name. DJ Ronnie G. Nerdles. All right. So
and you can explain to us how they can breathe through their butts.
Anybody curious about this weekend's box office?
Oh, me, Mr. Carter. Me, Mr. Carter. Oh.
All right. Well, then let's take a look at the weekend box office from Box Office Mojo. And yeesh. Not pretty.
No. And the thing is I'm sorry, you can't blame all this on the strike either, because there's been a lot of hype on a lot of this stuff before they started shutting their mouth. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, just look at those numbers. Yuck. And real quick, I do want to say hello to Apollome's Minion over on Rumble, or as she's known on Rumble, Dark Knight 495. I was about to say 485, but it's 495. Mike, read it correctly.
Will you stop that? It's confusing me. Oh, I hate numbers.
I hate numbers too. I hate math. That's the truth.
Yeah, I do too. It turns 414 into 404. Error.
Yeah, the Pacific 404 channel. But oh gosh, see these numbers. Gran Turismo only made 17.3 million this weekend. Barbie,
horrible.
17.1, but for Barbie, that puts it at 1.3 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, Blue Beetle made 12.8 million, so pretty close to what it made last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh, good. Yes.
it's got 46 million domestically, 35 million internationally, for a total of 81 million. But
Yeah.
that's still ugh. Of course, Oppenheimer, that's at 777 million worldwide,
That's
with
not
300 domestically and 477 million internationally. That's not bad at all.
especially with a film that all they do is talking, just like what's his name was complaining. What got up and walked out of a
Who was it?
the guy who went over to Japan and made it.
Oh, that Logan Paul guy?
Yeah, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Well,
Great.
walked out. It's just 90 minutes of people talking, nothing.
It's a
man.
drama, you
yeah.
twat.
Yeah.
Idiots.
I mean, you kind of hope he's just doing that for shtick, but with that
Probably.
moron,
Who knows?
I
don't know. I don't pay attention to that guy. I wish I didn't know about that whole thing.
I just, well, no,
Japan. I really wish I didn't, but
it just popped up in the feed. It's not something where you look for it; it comes hunting you.
Yeah.
It's like, please, can you stop?
no, they can't.
Please stop following me. I don't want to know about you or the Kardashians or any of these onions.
And I do want to say hello to the Padawannabe, who says, "Afternoon, sirs." Why are you calling me sir?
Well, Padawannabe was already here earlier.
Yeah, he put the message in. I believe it was shortly after I posted it yesterday. But guess what?
Okay.
He gets 2 mentions, one for his previous, and then one for his current.
Oh, aren't we the teacher's pet?
And Shay has a question for us. Have you all seen the animated video that explained if TMNT showed what real turtles have packing inside their shells? Oh my. No, I haven't seen that video.
Yeah, that sounds a little weird.
Oh gosh. Steve. Next week on Beverly Hills 414, Mike is confronted by Count on Count over his numbers problem. Crypto time is missing after a skydiving incident with Phil. I can't even read that with a straight face.
You broke him.
Crypto dime, yeah. Remember though,
it gets better. It gets better before you say it. Baird crashed the Ferrari last week and has to decide if he's taking the Porsche or the Corvette for the next month.
It's not a bad choice, though. Which one are you taking, Baron? The
Porsche or the Corvette? The Porsche or the Corvette.
I was hoping for a Lotus Super 7, but I'll take the Porsche.
Okay. Porsche guy. So you're like Lumberg. You're Lumberg.
Yeah, Lumberg.
I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big. And if he had a classic, one of the classic ones of the Corvette, I'd go for it. But the stuff that was like 6.9 on up, I've never been really a fan of Corvettes. Those Thunderbird. Give me a Thunderbird.
Those are nice. And the Padawannabe says, "Yes, I think I got first. I would call you all, sir, and shake your hands when I see my friends too." Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this weekend. It only made 6.1 million, and it's only grossed a total of 135 million worldwide. So that's not a success.
So actually, we have an emergency here. Emergency to talk about the turtles. Here we go. I got it right here. This is what we've been talking.
PACIFIC414 Knakish Imbis.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
that took a
I don't
turn.
think I don't think I'll ever eat a pickle again.
That's for you, DJ.
That seems like something DJ Ronnie G would show. I don't know, Baron.
And I was just curious to see what it cost to make The Hill. That was a movie that I went and saw on Friday. It's based on former Montreal Expo farmhand Ricky Hill's journey as a child who was born with a degenerative spinal disease.
Mm.
And he was told he'd never be able to play baseball, and he would have to walk with braces. But
Mm-hmm.
for a time, he was able to play baseball without braces. He was a star on his high school baseball team, and was actually in the Expo's farm system for 4 years.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. So,
But look at that pathetic release. I'm not talking about the number. I'm talking about the number of theaters. I got only 1,570 theaters for this.
I'm grateful my theater was one of the ones that had it.
Mm-hmm. It's like, come on, put a little bit more out there. You should, these films are actually getting people's interest. If you had more theaters, I think you had a bigger return.
Well, I mean, this is just my thoughts on this. This is just my opinion. I don't know this to be true, but I think part of the reason why maybe it wasn't released in a lot of theaters is because it does have a religious message behind it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No. It's a religious theme. But you know what? We already had a couple of movies that had kind of religious themes, and look how they kicked butt. Small budgets and good storytelling. And
unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything coming up for the budget. I'm still looking, though.
I think Battle on Albee loved that commercial.
Well,
a lot of pickle talk now in the chat. Hey, you want to see my gherkin?
and Killer Rabbit from Space says, "Hey, I don't want to be neutered." Nope.
Well, you're not a cat or a dog, That's. Well, he did see pets, so okay. Come on, get on the table.
All right, I'm still looking for its filming budget so far.
Yeah.
I'm not finding anything. That's surprising.
I bet you it's not a big budget. I just gathering that this wasn't a big budget film.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. No, but I mean, to only be released in so few theaters, that is pathetic.
Right.
And I'm not blaming the movie. I'm not blaming the studio for not trying to push for it to have a wider release. I'm blaming the theaters for passing on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, then got to take a look at the theater change. The theater changes and who they're, again, they're these big, huge conglomerates again. So it's like, oh, great. It's like, try to get a fair chance there. No, they only want certain ones. But what a cast they have in there. I mean, you have Scott Glenn, Dennis Quaid is in there. Colin Ford is in there. I mean, they had some pretty good cast members in there.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I liked about it is you actually believed that they were a family.
Mm-hmm.
And Dennis Quaid has always been a quality actor.
Yeah, he has been. I just kind of like to see more of him out there. I mean, some of those movies he came out with in the 80s and even in the 90s were just fantastic. And and not again, like I always sat back and say, the reviews or whatever I could give a crap about, but I am honestly surprised. I'm looking at the IMDb site, and their rating of this film is an 8.0 out of 10.
That's very good because the film is a very good film.
Right. It's just I guess.
Baseball only the centerpiece around the story.
Mhm.
It does deal with the family dynamic, the religious aspect of the
Mhm.
family, and the
Mhm.
people in this Texas town, and so
Mm.
honestly, it's like I said during my review video. If you want a good movie and you believe in faith, have a strong faith background, you're going to enjoy this movie.
Mhm.
You don't have to like baseball to enjoy this movie. This movie it's giving us a good message. It's
Right.
more of what we need to see instead of the same CGI comic book movie over and over again.
Right, and the thing is you can enjoy a film that's got religious theme, even if it's not a religion that you follow. I mean,
Hmm.
there's been stuff that's out there, and obviously they have a Jewish theme to it. To take a look at some of the films that Woody Allen and others have put on there, even though he's an atheist. But I mean, obviously he's writing about how his family grew up, being Jews in the 30s and 40s and such like that. You have people, they have something centric around Buddhism or Confucianism or even Islam. It's like, okay, as long as you have a good story, as long as you have a
Hmm.
good story, that's all we ask about. And yeah, I mean, as a Christian myself, I'd see a movie that was, obviously not part of my faith because, it's just like, again, it's just reaching out, it's expanding, it's seeing how other people approach things.
Hmm.
Don't be closed off, people.
No, open your minds, open
Mhm.
your hearts. Be prepared to expand your horizons.
Right. I mean, oh yeah, the Kelsey Grammer movie, where the Jesus movement or something like that. I can't remember what that was called. That did pretty good for a low budget, and again, extremely religious oriented. So I mean, there is a desire for these films. Uh, let it be, right?
And I do want to say hi to Truth is 2424. Even if
Oh,
they did send a link that is more spam than anything else, I'm still going to say hi.
oh, is that on the Rumble side?
Yes, yes. That's
Ah,
not on the
okay.
YouTube side or the Kick side.
That's why I didn't see it. Let me take a peek at Rumble, 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 Rumble. Here I am.
Rumble, rumble.
Yeah. Oh
Let's
yeah, yeah.
see. Anonymous says most Christian themed movies don't get a lot of theaters.
No,
No, they don't. But, Anonymous, I think you'd enjoy this movie, and it's not because you're a Christian. I think it's because it's a good, wholesome movie that you can take your family to.
since when does Moss like to have good wholesome movies? I've seen his playlist.
His playlist, Anonymous plays Hogwarts. Anonymous
Mm-hmm.
goes around casting spells.
Waving,
Anonymous.
waving his wand, getting a few restraining orders in Hogwarts because of it. It's like, whoa, whoa, put that thing away. You're gonna poke somebody's eye out. I wasn't aiming for the eye.
Oh my.
Oh
Oh my.
my. Yeah, George
So,
Takai, what a joke. Sorry.
oh gosh. Yeah. Well, we didn't hold back Wednesday. That's for
No,
sure.
he deserved it. He deserved it.
Yes, yes, he did.
It's like, I like Sulu. I don't like him. I should say, I love Sulu. I don't like him. There we go.
Yeah. And let's go ahead and move on to our final story of this edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. Let me just make sure I have the link posted in the chats, and then I'll make sure to share it on screen.
Sure. And while you're doing that, there's your bear, Yano. There's your bear.
What the?
Okay. Almost done. Almost done. Almost got it. Almost got it. And I got it. And it's time to share the screen.
About time. I can't just entertain these people like this on a whim with, whoa, what's this? Oh, I just saw the game down there. It's like, oh, okay, now.
Yeah. But this comes from CBS News. It was updated on the 26th, and it's by Kara Tabachnik. I'm probably saying that wrong. But, of course, as we all found out yesterday, Bob Barker, longtime host of The Price is Right, has passed away at the age of 99, just 4 months shy of turning 100.
All I can say is boo hiss, boo hiss. The death part. It's like,
Yeah. Bob Barker, who hosted The Price is Right for 35 years, has died. His representative, Roger Neal, told CBS News on Saturday he was 99. Barker died at home, Neal said, adding that he had a beautiful life, and that he did.
Oh, hell yeah.
We lost a beloved member of the CBS family today with the passing of Bob Barker. During his 35 years as host of The Price is Right, Bob made countless people's dreams come true and everyone feel like a winner when they were called to come on down. In addition to his legendary 50-year career in broadcasting, he will be remembered as a dedicated animal rights activist. Daytime television has lost one of the most iconic stars, CBS said in a statement, and he was also a World War II veteran.
Yep, a Navy, I believe. Yep, he's a Navy boy.
Yep. So again, there's precious few of them around. Barker appeared on national television for over 50 years. Before his time at the country's longest-running game show on CBS, he hosted one of the nation's first televised game shows, Truth or Consequences, for nearly 20 years, earning him recognition in the Guinness Book of World Records book as television's most durable performer. On Truth or Consequences, Barker charmed audiences with his quips and plain-spoken style. Every December 21st show, creator Ralph Edwards and Barker would drink a toast at lunch to celebrate the day. In 1956, when Edwards notified Barker, who had no previous television experience, that he was going to become the host. He stayed with the program for 18 years, calling it a fun show during an author chat promoting his memoir at the Google office in Santa Monica, California. In 1972, Barker began hosting a revival of The Price is Right, which originally aired in the 50s and 60s, and he stayed in that position for 35 years. Audience members were enthusiastic about their affable host. Some participants asked for kisses, which Barker once obliged by smooching a fan square on the lips while dipping her backward. Another fan told Barker she dreamed he was chasing her in a hayloft. Oh yeah, he was the fancy of a lot of the older ladies.
Oh yeah.
During his career, Barker was honored with 19 Emmy Awards, 14 as host of The Price is Right, 4 as the host executive producer, and a Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2004, Barker was inducted into the Television Academy Hall of Fame. Robert Barker was born in Darrington, Washington on December 12, 1923, to Matilda, a school teacher, and Byron, an electrical power foreman. He spent most of his childhood on the Rosebud Sweet Air Reservation in South Dakota and was a citizen of the tribe. Also, on another note, I had a neighbor who was actually on The Price is Right when I was growing up. So
I had a neighbor that they went to the taping, and he
Mhm.
would have gotten on if he would have said something quirky like, what do you do with your spare time, whatever. And if he would have said like chopping wood because he'd go to his cabin and chop wood, he probably would have gotten on because something quirky, but he didn't, and they sat in the audience. Mr. Holter was not a quirky man. That's that way.
Goes on to say his mother was a school teacher and then a county superintendent of schools. Barker's father died after falling from a utility pole in 1929, and 8 years later, his mother remarried and the family moved to Springfield, Missouri. Goes on to say in high school, at the age of 15, Barker met and fell in love with his future wife, Jordy Joe Gideon. Their first date was on November 17th, 1939, when he took her to see an Ella Fitzgerald concert. Barker said they were never separated from then on until her death in 1981 from lung cancer.
That's sad.
Barker attended Drury College in Springfield, and when World War II started, he joined the Navy as a fighter pilot. After the war ended, he graduated summa cum laude with a degree in economics. The couple tried living in Florida before moving to Los Angeles, where he became the host of his own radio program, The Bob Barker Show, before moving to television. His first and only feature film role was for the 1986 Adam Sandler movie, Happy Gilmore. The Price is Wrong, Bob. In which he
Can we
throws,
play that clip?
I gotta find it, and we will play just that part.
Yes.
Okay.
So great.
In which he throws punches at the star. Barker, excuse me. Barker said during an interview that audience members for The Price is Right would ask him about that scene and say, "Can you really beat up Adam Sandler?" And another thing is they actually did it again. This time it was in a hospital and they beat the crap out of each other, just for the skit. They didn't literally beat the crap out of each other.
No. And it's just that's surprising. He only had one role in a movie. You would have thought that he he would have been tapped for cameos here or there or something. I mean, if that's his only one, what a role to have.
I think you've had enough, bitch. This is great.
All right. I found an 11-second clip. So after we read the article, I'll go ahead and play it.
It comes right back to again talking about ego. I mean, he had his ego in check so much he could make fun of himself.
Right.
Even on the show.
Yep. And the article goes on to say, since The Price is Right relaunched in 1972 with former host Barker, the show has taped more than 9,500 episodes on the Television City lot in Los Angeles. The show will be heading to a new home later this year with Drew Carey, who has hosted since 2007. Outside of his storied television career, Barker was a renowned animal activist who once testified before Congress in support of a federal ban against using elephants in traveling shows and for rides. Barker made headlines for his passionate support of animals during the 1987 Miss USA pageant when he refused to host if contestants wore furs during the television event. Producers acquiesced and contestants wore synthetic furs that year. But the following year, after 21 years of hosting, Barker resigned when producers refused to stop giving fur coats as prizes. To us and to so many animals around the world, Bob will always be a national animal rights treasure, PETA President Ingrid Newkirk said in a statement. Barker gave large endowments ranging from 500,000 to 1 million to law schools of numerous universities, including Harvard, Duke, Columbia, University of Virginia, Northwestern, and UCLA, for the study and support of animal rights law. In 1995, he started the DJ&T Foundation in honor of his late wife and mother to give free to low-cost clinics voucher programs to spay or neuter pets in an effort to control animal overpopulation. After nearly 30 years of donating to clinics and supporting animals, the foundation stopped activity in 2022.
Hmm.
For his final Price is Right show that aired on June 15th, 2007, Barker ended his run with a familiar plea: help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Yes.
Yeah. And of course, Drew Carey continued that on in honor of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good replacement. Drew Carey's he
Well-
hasn't really changed much. He seems like a
Well,
go ahead, Baron. You're gonna.
Well, yeah. Well, I was going to back up on that one. But he's like, that's one of the things that Bob Barker had wrong. Originally, he sat back and said he wanted Rosie O'Donnell to take over for him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it's like, Bob, please.
Well, remember the Rosie O'Donnell show at the time wasn't bad. It's just when these people start getting crazier, you're like,
well,
eh.
she is
Yeah.
crazy. She doesn't
know.
have doesn't have that pizzazz to be
Right.
the host. It's like
Right.
having what's her name doing Supermarket Sweep from the Ghostbusters 2016, Leslie,
Yeah.
Kay, whatever. It's like no, you're horrible. Just because you guys are actors and actresses. Oh,
Well,
and
it's
let's
like
play-
look at the people who took over for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. They just
Right.
didn't have the same personality.
no.
They just,
Meredith Vieira. Was it Meredith?
yes,
Vieira?
Meredith
Yeah.
Vieira. She,
Yeah.
I don't know. She's all right, but
Yeah.
she's still hosting game shows. But
But the thing is we can't have Regis anymore because unfortunately Regis is
He-
gone.
right, Regis is
Mhm.
gone now, unfortunately. So, yes.
Well, let's play this and we can continue on. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not
yes.
telling Mike what to do, but I am.
Well, let's go ahead and play this.
The price is wrong, bitch.
And
And then
then
he starts
Ladies and
choking.
gentlemen, Mr. Drew.
to continue on for that scene, let me just pause this video that played afterwards. But what's funny is that scene doesn't even show that Bob comes to and he puts his hand on Adam
Yes.
Sandler's neck and they continue the fight.
Yeah, the fight's not over yet.
Yes.
But again, having your ego in check to do something like that, it's for me, I almost can say that I started seeing The Price is Right back when it started back in 72, kind of. That because my one babysitter that I had was obsessed with the daytime television, pretty much CBS, so the soap operas and stuff like that. But along with she also liked the game shows. So here you had the Match Game, and he was on Match Game for a little bit when they were trying to promote the new Price is Right, and of course, obviously, The Price is Right. And those shows in my youth, whether it's like the summer vacation or you have a vacation day or whatever, or you're even sick, who was your nursemaid? And that was Bob. It was Bob, and it was also obviously you had Gene Rayburn also along with it. You also had from Family Feud. I hate to have a mail block on his name, Richard Dawson. I mean, these people were part of your lives, and of course, obviously Gene Rayburn and Dawson have passed already. Now they're followed through with basically one of the three giants growing up when it came around to the game show. And 99, same age as Betty White, again, who was involved with game shows, especially with her late husband.
Especially Match Game. Yeah.
Match Game and others.
Yes.
Password, Super Password, because her husband was the host on some on those.
It's cool.
But it's just these again, a lot of the game show people. Yeah, you're right. Drew Carey is on there. I have to sit back and say Drew Carey, I just haven't really warmed to him on the part. It has something to do. It's just I don't know. Just for me, maybe it's because it was so many years of having Bob there. Remembering when Bob walked out on stage for the first time without using his hair dye, and he's got the silver hair or the white hair. It's like, oh, whoa! And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to hide it no more. What do I have to hide?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's like, whoa! It's like, we remember those moments that happened and how momentous they are. Just like when Ralph Trebek walked out without a mustache, and then towards the end of Jeopardy came out with the mustache once, and I was rooting to keep it. I thought he looked good with the mustache.
Yeah, I mean, Drew Carey's good. It's a good replacement. He's good.
I
feel the same. I don't know. I haven't watched The Price is Right.
No.
It's nothing against Drew Carey. I don't think the guy is bad or anything.
No.
I don't know. I just don't watch it. I mean, I'm still speaking of game shows, man. I'm still annoyed that Card Sharks comes back with Joel McHale, and then after 2 seasons or whatever, it goes away again. It sucks. It's still a fun show. Whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, growing up, or you got Buzzer out there where you can watch these old game shows and a few others, and you start seeing some of these old hosts that were along with Bob in those days, and sometimes you'd see Bob pop up on there, or these people, it's kind of funny that little relationship these people had back and forth with each other.
Right.
But it's like, even when it comes around the game show, we don't really have good hosts. It's like, thank God we have Drew Carey again. For Drew Carey, for me, I guess it's because of having Bob for so many years. It gets kind of hard, to switch over. It's like, you're used to what Bob is, and of course they had to change the show around to to appease certain elements.
Oh yeah, I know they did. I mean, what was wrong with all the women being models who are doing the
there was nothing wrong
displaying the products that they're giving away on the game show? Nothing, but they added men. Okay, fine. If you want to do that's fine, but it's obvious that there was a push, some kind of pandering. As we know, CBS is not against pandering.
No. And real quick, Shay has this question: if Bob Barker's grave is in a cemetery, would it be a sign of respect to place a penny on his grave marker? Yes, because he was a World War II veteran.
Yep. Exactly. Or if you really want to put a $1 coin on there and you're bet $1, Bob, $1, Bob, $1.
Yeah.
So leave a $1 coin and a penny on his grave.
Yeah.
But I can remember going to Washington D.C. in the 6th grade for a field trip with my dad, and going to Arlington National Cemetery, and my dad telling me, "Don't touch that penny. That penny's there to honor." The person who's lying here. My dad was the one that taught me that.
And as I said, I say about Barker's beauties in there. The thing is they were all apart. They were involved as much as Bob was in some ways in presenting the show, because they'd be part of the skits. They would talk. There would be interplay with them. So it was like they were more than just a smiling face. You got to see them in action, which a lot of game shows wouldn't have been doing.
Right. Yeah.
You did. Yeah. So I mean, that was part of the fun. Of course, like growing up too, it's like, oh my, oh yeah, you're pretty, aren't you?
And Anonymous says, put a Plinko chip on his grave. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, Plinko. Our the shell game. That was a big one too. My favorite on there was not the blonde, it was Holly.
Oh, Holly, yeah.
She was beautiful.
Oh, I mean, as much as I'm a guy that likes the blonde, it was Holly that I was. Oh, and still, it's a pretty.
Was Holly the one that there was that lawsuit or whatever? There was some.
No, it was one of the other ones.
Was it one or two?
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was, and I might be wrong. I thought it was Janice who.
Yeah.
Was
Janice
one of the ones
had that
filed the law.
Hmm.
And then what happened was that she got dragged into the lawsuit as witnesses and stuff like that. So she had to go and
Yeah.
testify, and that showed the relationship between her and Bob. And yeah, and
Did
he
she
doesn't really have much.
actually get money from him? I think she might have.
Janice, I
can't
think
remember.
Janice
Yeah,
might have.
I
Yeah,
thought
I
she
don't.
might have.
Yeah. But I don't
Remember,
think
there was that crazy stuff with Letterman too, and there was
Yeah.
some kind of
Well, there was a lady who
stuff going
was
on.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Letterman, that broke into his house and stuff like that. So
And he was still married at the time, and he was messing around with it. Like I said, it's people's lives, but when you're on TV, it doesn't. It's not the best image for anybody.
I know.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely that he was one of the TV babysitters we had, and he did a damn good job. 1 hour program, keeping it going, keeping that pace, keeping that excitement. Of course, he used to, when if people got right on, they go up there. The ladies would take the dollar out of the pocket. Of course, they stopped doing that when the Janice thing started happening.
Right.
But I love it when the guy comes out. He makes sure that money was out and handed to the guy. But if the woman is like, get in that pocket. I'd be the same way. I'll be the same way. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have some guy going in there.
No.
Yeah, and Bob was definitely also one of the game show hosts. It's like the match game guy that you get a kiss on the cheek.
Oh yeah,
from the women.
Well, yeah, they wanted that. I mean, a lot of people. The same thing with Richard Dawson about him kissing.
You
all
got
the
it
time.
right.
But the thing is, with it's like he did that for good luck, and the contestants, before the show, it's like about Richard Dawson. It's like if a woman didn't want to be, they let Richard Dawson know, and you go along there, a woman want to get kissed. It's like, well, that's because she made it known she doesn't want to, but. There were so many women that were wanting to throw themselves for a Richard Dawson kiss, whether it was on Family Feud or even on the match game when he was on the match game at the same time.
Yeah, right.
And of course, it goes with Bob Barker. I mean, these ladies love these guys, and rightly so.
Yeah, I mean, heck, one of the games I liked on The Price is Right was with the Yodeler.
Oh, yeah.
This is where it gets dark.
Yeah. Oh, today.
I wanted to see the Yodeler get up there and fall.
Oh, man. Oh, fall over.
Yeah. I didn't want the contestant to win. I want the Yodeler to fall over in the game.
Some of those games are brutal, man. Even Plinko. It's like, you got to put that in the right. It was like, oh, the center should be good enough. No, not exactly. Not always. And then, when it's sad, of course, Trebek is gone, and now Bob Barker and Pat Sajak is finally going to be retiring soon from Wheel of Fortune, and
you can tell he's tired of it. You can tell he's tired.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing it for so many years, and
30 some years, almost 40 years. He's taking a look at it,
and I will say this though: if you guys are looking for a new game show, The Chase isn't bad. The Chase is pretty good.
Is that back?
Yeah, it should. Is it back? Maybe
is it that chubby guy? Is that chubby? Is that where?
No, that's the woman, unfortunately, from The View. But her hosting on that is pretty good. I will say this: of course, there had to be a little bit of pandering, with one of the questions, and you're like, "What were they talking about?" Oh, okay, that's the question. But overall, it's not a bad format of the show. Usually. What it happens though, if you only have one contestant, and one of them, of course, is from Jeopardy, who won a lot of money, and Ken Jennings used to be on it until he became one.
Oh yeah, he was the guy that was sat on top because the Chase in England, and of course when they brought it to America,
right. It was on England before,
Yeah, it was. It used to be. It was like a circling panel in England, but when it came to America, it was just Mark Lebet. And then. I know the show stopped, so it's like when I hear that the show's back again, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
and
so
that's all right. Good old he was on that one.
It's not bad. It's the host is pretty good.
The Chase is a good show.
It's not a bad show at all. Yeah, it's not a bad show. Yeah, it's also funny. What was it? Whose Line Is It Anyways? Didn't even start here in America.
No, it started over in
Britain.
it
did. Yeah.
Very much so, yeah. And Then they came over here. In fact, they were making fun of it because they're saying, "Oh yeah, they got to dumb the questions down now. It comes to America." You know?
Yeah,
because
right.
you could find the original episodes of the show on Comedy Central back in the day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Peter Tamarkin's gone. Of course, he died a long time ago in the crash. And of course, Monty's gone. Rayburn and Dawson. I mean, we're just these guys were. Again, if you're going to go onto a game show, you need to sit down and watch these guys in action, not to copy them, but to see how you do it.
Right. Yeah, you gotta bring out a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Steve Harvey was a bad choice. That when he took on Family Feud, he's got a lot of energy, but he's got some other things about him, like
Steve Harvey. But yeah, the various Family Feuds reduxes were. It's like it's not the same. The only one that they had that was a good replacement was one they had right after Dawson. I got a mental block on his name right now, but unfortunately, he went a little bonkers and took his life.
Yeah, that was one of the original Family Feud hosts.
Well,
or whatever,
he was when the show ended, because it did end with Dawson, and they brought it back, and it had what was his name now in there? Let me tell you. To present, let's see, Ray Combs. Ray Combs was the guy, and he did a good job. I mean, he was almost on there for almost 10 years, and then that last season they took him off, and Rayburn came back, and then shortly after that, unfortunately, he took his life. But he was a great host and replacement for Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, again, it's like, talk about taking over for an impossible part.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with him going, it's like, well, we're really losing all these giants, the ones that knew how to do it. Bob was 99. All the others have gone. It's like, who do we have to replace them? It's I mean, there's some good ones out there, but it's again, it's far and few between. Just because I'm an actor, I can be a host.
Well, it's like LeVar Burton getting butthurt about not being named host of Jeopardy, and
and then trying to do race, bring race into it. Maybe you weren't good enough.
A lot of people were trying to push for him to be the host, and it's not that it has a bad personality. I mean, Reading Rainbow is still was a quality show. I don't know if it ever continued after LeVar Burton. I don't think so.
I don't think it did.
I don't think so. No. And I'm going to throw one more in there for Killer Rabbit to tell the truth.
Yep. Yep, because I was just going to read Killer Rabbit's comment here.
Oh, okay.
Who says, for a game show, I like watching What's My Line and You Bet Your Life on YouTube. Yeah, and when you can find old episodes of these game shows on YouTube that somebody's uploaded, it's fun watching.
Right.
Those game shows, because they had personality, they had spirit, they had heart back then.
Yeah, silly and goofy sometimes, but I remember, obviously to tell the Groucho Marx show, as they called it after a while, but having You Bet Your Life, that they played that constantly when I was growing up. So it's like, for me, it's like, okay, then they're done that. But yeah, to see those old What's My Line, and of course, like I said, To Tell the Truth. Those were fun shows. Those were fun, and they show them on Buzzer sometimes, and of course, obviously YouTube. Watch them, even if they are in black and white. I don't watch these things because they're black and white. No, watch them in black and white.
Oh my God, it's in black and white.
I know people that way. That way.
That's the same thing with games too. These graphics, I can't take it. It's horrible.
I don't like these 8-bit graphics, these 16-bit graphics. You got someone like me, and someone's going to say, well, obviously you're going to like it. I'm going to look at it and go, hey, I love these graphics.
Why are people making these type of games with this graphic style? Why?
And and let us bring. Oh yeah, I think they tried bringing the Newlywed Game back, but let's not forget a big contribution that indirectly that Bob Barker had for New Mexico.
Mhm.
Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. They had that contest about the first town that changed their name to Truth or Consequences, and I can't remember what it was. And boom, in New Mexico, they changed the name, and that's why you have Truth or Consequences in New Mexico.
Yep.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, Bob. But there won't be another host like Bob Barker, just like
No.
there won't be another host like
No.
Alex Trebek, and with Pat
No.
Sajak leaving Wheel of
Yes.
Fortune, there won't be another host like Pat Sajak.
No.
The list goes on. Even with Family Feud and Steve Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Harvey's made it his own. He's not trying to copy someone else's style. He's
Right.
doing his own style.
Right.
And that's important. You take over, and yeah, you're now the host, but remember what it's all about, and that's where you're a good host.
Yep. And however you feel about people like Steve Harvey, if you watch the Steve Harvey show, I still laugh at that. It hasn't been on in a while, or I haven't found it, but that show is still funny.
Is it when he had hair?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
So, gentlemen, I think this is a good point to wrap up this edition of Pop Talk here on this Sunday. But before we do that, is there anything that you would like to promote, Cash Money?
There's excitement coming up. There's some Vermintide 2 again coming up. Haven't decided what day I'm going to go with that. It definitely will not be Thursday. The weekend, unfortunately, there probably won't be anything, but the weekdays, yes, there's definitely going to be Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart finally. There's also going to be Vermintide 2, and maybe there may be a River City Girls 2. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. But there is definitely going to be Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I'm still, and I'm going to keep saying this until I get these done, I'm still working on the Pinheads of Entertainment series. I'm still working on that. I want to make sure that sounds good. I'm sure the list will be large for that after a while for the Pinheads. But yeah, so Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And if you are going to get that game on PC, I highly recommend getting a SSD, either a portable one or one that you put in your computer. Because now with Star Citizen, Ratchet and Clank, it's been a number of years, and I would recommend spending some good money on getting an SSD. But anyways, so yeah, Ratchet and Clank. There may be possibility of some more bolt gun action. Bolt gun, I'm thinking Baron has told me before I should stream that again, so I just might do that. But definitely, I'm looking forward to another round of Vermintide 2 and see how high we can get on the difficulty. I'm thinking that's probably going to be Friday at 6 p.m. So we'll see.
And
Okay.
that's 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Pacific Standard
Just to
Time,
clarify.
Yes. But yeah, I like our group. And then if you guys want to play Broforce, we can find a day for that. Broforce Forever. We got to get through that map. That map that's crazy. We have to actually slow down the map. Broforce. But I know Baron's more into Vermintide 2 right now, so we're gonna just keep rocking that up, and I'm enjoying it as well, and I know Mike is too. So
yep,
yeah.
We get a fourth player. We get either Vor or somebody else, and whoever wants to join that, I'll join the Discord and join the VC, and then you can play. Just make sure if you play with us that don't try not to be a Phil McCracken. He's a little nuts. So.
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah, I'm trying to lightly, yes. Yeah, so that's what's coming up, and more excitement on the Phantom Hooligans. Yes.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Oh, you sound enthusiastic.
You sound very excited there, Bear Man.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about...
Well, speaking of moaning, what do you got coming up on Baron Orman Tagge's Phantom Legacy? That won't make people moan.
Well, of course, we've been continuing our show about discussion of Babylon 5. We won't be doing it this Saturday. We'll be doing it the Saturday after because, of course, it's the Labor Day weekend. You'll find me here with Mike and Cash with the Pop Talk Sundays and Wednesdays. On the Primetime Kings of live stream with 24/7 Fusion Media, the Tower of Power himself on his channel, along with Vigilante Williamson, the ever mysterious one, cruising in a hot rod is New Bomb Turk, and myself, 5 o'clock Sunday, so 5 o'clock Central Standard Time today over there. Please join us. As it goes, of course, I'll be putting out my videos telling you how KK is being fired and is fired. I'll be putting stuff out that that J.J. Abrams has been tarred and feathered. That Filoni has been fired as well. So I'm going to be putting those videos out. They're not clickbait. Honestly, they're not clickbait, but I'll be doing that for you.
Oh, Cash, you're being called out.
I see that. Sure. No, anybody who wants to be a part of the group, you got to be in Discord for VC because teamwork, communication. So,
Teamwork and communication. What's that?
What's that? I know, right?
I never communicate with you guys about what's going to be happening on Pop Talk.
No.
I never.
Not at all.
Somebody does have some static on their mic. Is that coming
me?
Okay.
Is it me? Is it me on my stacky?
I think it might be you. Let me mute you. Yeah, Baron.
Yep. It's Baron. Dun dun dun.
How dare you? How dare you? I thought you knew not to. I thought you knew. I thought you knew.
I even got the thing about the background noise plugged on my thing here. The reduced mic background noise. I got that on there. So.
Well,
okay.
I don't know. I've had times where I've had to unplug my mic, then plug it back in. So maybe it's just something as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Of course, remember, buy crypto. Buy crypto. You won't fail.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah. Okay,
sure, you won't be able to. Sure, you won't be able to swim in your money bank. The money bin, like others do around here. But at least you have that. That knowledge that your computer holds your money cryptically.
And I do want to say hello to Kitty Bear.
Oh, hi.
Who says someone has a broken mic.
No, we haven't broken mic yet.
Not yet, but just so everybody knows what's coming up on PACIFIC414. Of course, there won't be anything tonight. This will be the only stream for this Sunday. But Tuesday, I will be playing River City Girls 2.
Sweet.
At 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing it like it's done in the game at the title screen, where the song's being played. You're not supposed to say that.
You're not supposed to say the two. Yeah.
But it's written on the piece of paper. But anyways, I'll be playing River City Girls 2. I had fun playing River City Girls 1. And that'll be happening. Of course, Wednesday will be the Wednesday edition of Pop Talk. And it won't be a Rumble exclusive. It'll be on the Kick, Rumble, and YouTube. And then Thursday, I still haven't made up my mind. That's why I put it the way I did in the schedule I released on YouTube and Twitter and a few other places, where I said it'll either be Ace Combat 7 Part 5 or it'll be Part 2 of River City Girls 2. And that'll begin at 6 p.m. Eastern, regardless of which game it ends up being. Nothing scheduled as far as live streams or video uploads for Friday or Saturday. And then, of course, Sunday will be the Sunday edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. But I was talking with Baron last night before the Babylon 5 stream, and it's going to be an hour-long show. I know I've had times where I've said, "Oh, this is only going an hour and a half before," and ends up going longer than that. And I'm not saying it won't, but right now the idea is to go for an hour, and then of course next Tuesday I'll be streaming a game. I don't know what yet. Of course, Wednesday's Pop Talk, a game on next Thursday, and then next Friday, which will be September 8th, the real Star Trek Day. Not what
Yeah.
CBS says is Star Trek Day, just because it's April 5th, 2063, and First Contact, the day Earth made first contact with Vulcans in Star Trek. I'm doing it on the actual day that the original series of Star Trek premiered on September 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be talking about the original series, the animated series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise. We're going to be talking games, books, comics, and having a good time.
Picard season 3.
We're not talking about that, Barry. No, we're not talking about that. That still leaves a sour taste in my mouth.
Me
Lower
too.
Decks.
No, we're not talking about Lower Decks. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've had so many ideas that I've wanted to do for that stream, like showing clips, but I know that even if I have to break down the clips, it loses all meaning for what was being said in that episode. So we're going to talk about, particular scenes throughout Star Trek's history and just the kind of impact they made, not just for the overall story, but also how they resonate so many years later.
I think even take a nod to some of the fans out there that done some excellent fan service to Star Trek, whether it's Star Trek Phase 2 or our Star Trek Continues with Vic Mignogna, because those guys definitely did a far better job than Paramount's doing. CBS Paramount.
Yeah.
And and that's part of the legacy right there, where you can have continuing on the story 40 years later, making everything look like it did at that time, and be extremely popular. Why? Because Star Trek is something else. So,
and I'm gonna say this, even though I'm not a big fan of current Star Trek, if one of our panelists happens to like current Star Trek and wants to talk about it, I'm not gonna stop them from talking about it.
I will. I mean, someone's going to talk about that new Star Trek.
I want you to know it's over.
Well, bye.
There we go. I'll play that one.
And Killer Rabbit from Space says, "Great telecast, humans. Have a pleasant tomorrow." Well, thank you for stopping by, Killer Rabbit from Space. It's always an honor to have new people come into the chat and stick around and listen to what we have to say. Some of us, like me, ramble on forever and can't even put a sentence together sometimes.
Well, we'll take a look at Anna Moss's little comment.
And he says the longest outro ever.
3 hours later.
It wouldn't be Pop Talk then, Anonymous. That's what makes Pop Talk unique. We have outros and intros sometimes that go on and on and on. But you know what? That's what makes it unique. And I'm not changing it.
So there, yeah.
And
was that too much?
What I do want to say to everybody is, because you're all here and you're all honorable warriors of the Pacific 414. I wouldn't say Empire, just Village. But I do want to say
glory to you and your house.
I got this to say. I like turtles.
Well, I know you do, but of course, I also want to say thank you to everyone who stopped by during this afternoon, or depending on where you are, mornings, or even the evening, depending on where you are in the world. During the broadcast, he was here first, and then he came back later on today. We had the Padawannabe as the first commenter. And then we have Low Spec Linux Laptop. Get ready for the fight to the finish between Low Spec Linux Laptop and Punk Waddle.
It's Thunder Penguin Dome. 2 penguins enter, 1 penguin.
Thunder Penguin Dome. I'd watch that.
2 penguins enter, only 1 survives. And then we have T-Gap Steve and the self-proclaimed king of Pop Talk, more like the court jester,
Yep.
Phil McCracken.
Never heard of him.
Man, who is he? He thinks I owe him $2.
I don't know. Then the old man was here. Captain Fandom Nerd was here. And this is fake news. We're not Raylos, Tim. We're not Raylos.
Fake news.
Tim Stock was here. Steven Ransom was here. Good to see you, Steven. It's good to see everybody. And Killer Rabbit from Space.
Yay.
And of course, we had Cavatino, Cavalryman Shay. Thank you, Shay. And get ready, guys. Anonymous.
Did it.
Thank you, Anonymous. And of course, the Nerdle.
Nerdle. That's what I'm Nerdle.
I know, I probably could have done without doing that, but DJ Ronnie G was here. And Kitty Bear was here. So thank you all very much for being here. Always appreciate it. And Captain Venom Nurse says, still here.
Present.
And Low Spec is giving us 4 penguins. So we already know who's going to come out on the edge of that fight. It's going to be Low Spec.
He's got penguin power on his side. More so than
Well, so does Punk Waddle, but
yeah, we're talking about penguins here. It's going to be a fun fight. I'm going to like this.
Yeah, who's gonna slip off the ice? Who's gonna go underwater and eat some fish during the fight? But thank you all. Really appreciate it. And let's see. Phil is saying justice for Anonymous Fire Cash Money.
Of course.
No. Not gonna do it, but thank you all. Hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. And as always, I'm not just a baseball guy, I'm an all-around guy. Take care.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Gotta do that one. Let's see. Let's take a look at the horse racing here. That horse looks like a good. I wonder if I can get a trifecta this time.
Sending the nuts!
Oh, we're still on? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know you gotta check
we're still live.
You gotta check your gambling on those horses. You gotta find out which one won.
At least I wasn't talking about done. Penguin on a penguin. Yeah.
So you're saying you want to bet on